Good evening and welcome to your instructional econ channel, Morocco Market Beats. I am your host, Benani Ashraf, bringing you the eye on the local and international economic and financial news. In today's episode, we're diving headfirst into a topic that underpins the very foundation of Morocco's financial framework, the meticulous preparation process of the Moroccan Budget Bill. Behind every financial decision, every economic strategy, and every development project lies this comprehensive blueprint that outlines how the nation's resources will be allocated to shape its future. The Moroccan Budget Bill plays a crucial role in determining the financial priorities and allocation of resources for the country. It reflects the government's vision and policies for economic development, social welfare, and public services. In this episode, we will explain the process involved in preparing the Moroccan Budget Bill. The entire process can be divided into 4 phases: a planning phase, a consultation phase, a development and arbitration one, and the adoption phase. Let us then start with the first phase. Prior to March 15, the head of the government, through a circular, calls upon the authorizing officers to formulate their proposals for triennial budgetary plans along with objectives and performance indicators. Up to May 15, the ministerial departments and institutions submit their proposals for triennial budgetary plans pertaining to their budgets to the Finance Ministry, the budgets of autonomously managed state services under their purview, and the special purpose accounts for which they are authorizing officers. The aforementioned proposals are reviewed in planning and performance committees. Prior to July 15th, the Finance Minister presents in a Government Council meeting the progress of the current budget execution and introduces the 3-year projection of the state resources and expenditures, as well as the key aspects of the budget bill for the following year. Now, stage 2 of the process basically involves consultation with the Parliament in terms of the overall framework for preparing the budget bill of the following year and the national economic trends, the progress of the ongoing budget execution as of June 30th, information about economic and financial policies, and the comprehensive 3-year budget planning. During the September to mid-October period, the development and the arbitration phase takes place. This phase involves assessing proposals from ministerial departments, specifically related to revenues, expenditures, and performance projects within the framework of the budgetary committees. Additionally, this phase includes the composition of the budget bill and its associated documents. Lastly, by no later than October 20th of the current fiscal year, the budget bill draft will need to be submitted to the office of the Chamber of Representatives. The 30 days following the submission of the bill, the Chamber of Representatives decides upon the annual budget bill. During the 22 days following the draft's approval by the Chamber of Representatives or the expiration of the given time frame, the government refers the project to the House of Councillors, which proceeds to evaluate it. In the 6 days following the project passage in the House of Councillors or the expiration of the given time frame, the budget bill is ultimately adopted by the Chamber of Representatives as part of the second reading process. Once the budget bill is approved by the Parliament, the government implements and monitors its execution throughout the fiscal year. Regular assessments and evaluations are conducted to ensure that the allocated funds are effectively utilized and adjustments are made if required. In conclusion, the preparation process of the Moroccan Finance Bill is a comprehensive and rigorous process that involves collaboration among government bodies, from setting the fiscal framework to parliamentary review and public participation. Various steps ensure that the budget reflects the government's policies, addresses the needs of the nation, and promotes accountability. By understanding this process, citizens can actively engage in shaping the budget priorities and contribute to the overall development of Morocco. That was all we have for you today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.